Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And now it is time to take on Inferno 3 of the KONOSUBA. I don't think it's actually called Beatdown Battle. No, it is called Beatdown Battle. All right, but Inferno 3, and he has quite a bit of HP, 1.4 million, with 16k attack and 14k defense. So obviously, Inferno 3s are always either the meta team or you stun his ass. And so that is going to be today's video, is we're going to use the meta team. And then we're going to stun his ass. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Except cry. But realistically, all the other rewards you get for Infernos are the Omni Accords for skill fusions, which you have to have 100, level 100 units, so not useful for 80% of the community. The moats are really only good for like super whales that have played the game for a long time that have 100 units again. So realistically, most people will stop at EX, and there is a gigantic gap in HP called 1 million HP. So most people will probably stop there, get the free gear, and then they'll complete these when they come back and their teams are better. I don't blame them for that, but we do have to do the video, so we're going to use this meta team as it stands right now. We're still, only a few days off from having the collab drop, so we don't have Aqua and Kazuma yet. We don't know what they do. So this is what we're going to use for now. Trainee, ult rushing, orb changing and attack buffing, pierce and the ult resistance down, plus Megumin giving the ult damage, and then Shizu giving the fire attack, because she is sadly not skill fused, because she's not level 100, because that's a stupid, dumb friggin' restriction. But you know what? We might fix that in the next coming week or so, depending on how the summons on Aqua and Kazuma go. But let's just jump right in. Alright, so turn 1, since we do have Megumin, we do have, the nice, good orb change. We do have Megumin and Violet, who gives us protection gauge on turn 2, which combined with Trainee will ensure that we can get double protector on turn 2, which will be very, very nice. And Trainee will also help us rush the ult for Megumin, so she can do her 1.6 million damage or something, which I don't think will actually do that much. I think Inferno 1 we did like 1.5, so we'll be a little bit shy there. But it still will probably work out. So, ooh, yes, let's do the 2 stacks here. We have 50 points, so we can use both the steal from Milim and then the Trainee special orb change, and we'll get another full hand of blues, which will be very nice. So we just have to see who doesn't get that green change. Shizu. Alright, that actually works out pretty well, because she's the least important one up here for now. So we'll bring Milim in, we'll steal that orb, and then we'll swap her away for Raphael, and we'll be looking pretty good. Continuously getting Megumin orbs is probably the best thing that can happen here. Even though we have Trainee to help us rush the ult, she can only do so much, especially if she's sealed, right? So here, we're going to be looking fairly good. So we can do this, we can do that, we can do that, and we'll have a full hand of greens. We're going to rush Megumin's ult, especially since we only have 1 orb. For some reason that didn't work like I wanted it to. Okay, I must have had 3 greens then. Oh well. Okay, well, 5 blues will work fine. Alright. 4 or 5. So that's a Megumin ult right there, 155 points. Not quite 6, because I miscounted. Oh well. Okay, or we could get no natural blues at all, and you could suck a dick. Okay. What do we do here? What do we do here? I think we just do this. Send these greens, since we have the least amount of green orb changing here. And we got it right back, so thanks a bunch. Really? You really had to do that, huh? Okay, so let's bring Milim in for Trainee. Right? Do we have enough? We don't have enough. Okay, no. Milim in for Trainee. and then we'll steal those, and then we can convert with Megamine. That gets us to 5. Yeah, I really, really, really hope that one of the 2 units coming has that orb swap ability like EX Rimuru does and like the Hero 2.0 does, because stacking teams having to contend with this, not exactly the most fun thing in the world. Okay. He's going to seal me again here, but I kept Trainee in the back so we could avoid that. This might hurt. Yeah, it kind of hurt. Okay. 197 points now. Okay. What do we do here? What do we do, Joker? Think, boy. Do this, and we don't have enough for Trainee's orb change, because it just refuses to give us friggin'... Alright. We'll just do this. We'll bring you in. We'll rush the ult again. Alright, we'll send these greens. Hopefully we get blues next turn. We have one coming in, finally. Thank God. Okay, turn 7. Let's do this. Let's do that. That gets us the EX ult. We can get her out of here now, so we can have a full hand of blues to make up for that. And we can bring Raphael in, so as long as Trainee gets... Oh, she's going to get an ult, so she'll have an orb. Perfect. Okay. This works out pretty well, then. Max points. Another stack. Are we going to get 2 stacks from traits here? I don't think we are. Alright, cheeky counter. Fine. And we didn't. Alright, that's fine. So let's do one... Oh, I should have waited. We have the Fire Charm, don't we? Yeah, we do have the Fire Charm. She might have it still. Oh well. Let's do this. She does not have it. Oh well. Alright, so ult buff, fire buff. We'll do the Pierce and the ult resistance down. And we'll do the Pierce power right here, and then we'll have enough for the Millim attack skill that is currently sealed. Huh. What did we use so far? We didn't use anything, huh? Hey, you know what? Let's stun. Let's stun for a turn. This lasts for 2 turns. We'll bring Millim up front, so we can have that wear off. And we'll get those back. 281 points. I think that'll be enough. Alright, now we can nuke, right? Now we have enough points. Huzzah! I know how to play this game. Man, sometimes I just blank out. Alright, let's get Millim out of here. Get Raphael. Now we can do his Pierce and ult resist down. The Pierce power buff is still active. Now we can get this going as well for the extra 10% fire attack. Alright. There we go. So, Megamine currently has the wind attack from Trainee, doesn't matter. We have the Pierce power from Shizu, 15%, magic attack from herself, fire attack from Shizu, 45% attack from Millim, guaranteed Pierce, the 10% fire attack from the Charm, and then, how much is this? 220%? No, 220% ult damage, plus the resistances down up here. So, he has 1.2 million HP left. I feel like we can do that. I feel like we can. Let's send the ult last, actually, because remember, she stuns herself. Gotta keep that in mind. So, 1, 2, and 11.9k. Alright. And then 1.6 milli right there. There we go. Cool. Actually, I'm surprised we did that much damage, because last time we only did like 1.5 against Inferno 1. I must have nuked on turn 7 or something, so... But there we go. There's the first time clear of Inferno 3. Now let's try a not meta stun team. Alright, so this is the team I'm going to run for the stun part of this. Protector Shuna plus Raphael, they do really, really good damage together. Raphael can also stun alongside Octagram Guy, and then we got Orb Changers. Albus has the pierces alongside Raphael, but also has the resistance down, which will just help us when we're ready to full nuke. Also the green orb change. Rimuru has a green orb change plus the steel, and then Shuna has the oranges covered. So ideally we should have most things taken care of here, but this will probably take a while, so we're gonna, I think, warp speed through this, or I'll just cut until we get to the actual nuke turn. I don't really know yet, but yeah, I'll see you guys in there. Alright, so this is starting out on the stun team. Since we don't have Megamine, we are going to use Shuna's Orb Change turn 1 to get the 5 Hand of Blues, which, because I have the Protection Trio, I do get 1 stack of Shuna, so I mean, it's better than nothing. But then we get fairly lucky right here in turn 2, and we can just bring in Water Rimuru, and we can just Orb Change all of that. It's just kind of unfortunate that none of them are Raphael orbs -1. So, but it will get us, you know, double protection gauge. It will get us a good amount of points. So we're kind of off the races. But other than that, I mean, you can either start stunning really, really early, or once you start taking, you know, damage, maybe once you get to his first ult, you just start stunning there. But the name of the game is to just never allow him to do anything. Never allow him to stack his damage. Keep stacking your Pierce and your Stun Strike on Raphael. For this, I didn't really focus on it, but probably a good option would be to, as a secondary DPS, is to stack on Shuna, since she is magic. She will have the Pierce power. She will ult him when he's stunned, so she'll do more damage than Albus, because Albus is physical and he has that natural physical resistance. So Shuna and Raphael are going to be, at least on this specific team, your best nukers. It's just, you know, you've got to orb change. You've got to have enough points to do that. You've got to have enough points to stun. And eventually, because we don't have, like, Dark Veldora to reset our skills, they get very expensive. Like, we're talking, like, if you want 2 orb changes and a stun, it's 300 points. And there's really nothing you can do about that. So this is just an exercise in patience. I believe I just start throwing ults out. Like, there's no reason to hold ults in the back. You want full 6-hand sends, and you want to be able to keep stacking on Raphael, you know, as much as possible without interrupting. So I believe that the best option is to just orb change this entire hand, send the ult, send 5 blues, and get as much gauge as you possibly can. And then when you're really, really, like, for sure ready to nuke, then you start saving the ult up. And then you worry about, you know, putting him in the back to take less damage, so you have all your orb changers up front. But here, I don't do any of that. I just nuke it and send these oranges, because I don't really have... I have Shuna, which is great, but the orange orb changing is our lowest... what's the word? Least efficient thing here. So I do have 2 green orb changers with Rimuru and Albus, so that's also kind of why I brought Albus. I think I mentioned that in the pre-game, but you know, it's here for a reason. I don't think I actually end up using her buff. Like, I don't ever put the Pierce resistance down on Gabiru when it's time to actually nuke, which goes to show that as long you can stack as long as you want, and you will do the damage. It's just, do you want to do it faster? Do you not want to sit here for, you know, 20-something turns? But as you can see, we're doing our best to just get full hands of blues, not really worrying about who's getting an ult, because we're gonna send it, and, you know, we're on turn 7, right? Turn 8 is where you would normally nuke on this for the mission, and we are nowhere near close to that. So it is what it is. But substitute units you could use, you really need any stacking protector. Like, we're using Shuna, you have Rimuru, we're gonna use Velzard next in a very, very jank setup. You can use Watermillum. I mean, she is, you know, a stacking protector, and you know, Water Hinata is magic, and she does seal crit resistance. So, I mean, you definitely can bring her and just bring Octogram Guy and just stun as the 5th unit. So you could bring, like, Shion, Shuna, Hinata, Water Rimuru, and Guy, and, you know, Protector Watermelon and stun. I mean, I used that in the extreme stage, and it worked fine. I don't think I even stunned in that one, but I brought a different unit for the 5th slot. But it could certainly work here. It's just that it's going to take a while, because we don't have type advantage. We don't have that extra 60% damage buff that Rimuru gives against Earth units. There's not really a good fire unit to use outside Megamine, because everyone is physical, and, you know, Violet gives herself crit and pierce, but Gabiru has crit resistance, so using that skill actually kind of hurts. And I guess we could bring Fire Milim to seal the crit, but then we're just doubling up on it. And she's physical. Yeah, and then, like, Fire Shizu, like, she got the skill revamp, so she has a little bit of attack buff, but she's physical. Velzard is an AoE, she's physical. And then I think your best magic nuker for fire outside of Megamine is Benimaru. OG AoE Fire Benimaru. And that's not going to cut it. So, fire options are pretty limited, because we don't really get fire metas all that often. And this is the first time in, you know, since EX metas came out in February that we got a fire EX unit. So, options are definitely limited. But if you have a stacker, and you have a DPS, and you have a stunner, either Guy or Raphael, we're using both here, you can do this stage, and you can get that free moat. You can do Inferno 2 and 1, you can do Extreme. It's just you're gonna need a stunner, because you're gonna take way too much damage after, like, turn 8, and I believe on turn 11 or 12 he heals himself by a lot. So if you worked all that work to get to turn 11 and you try and nuke him and it doesn't work, then he's going to heal pretty much half his HP back, and then you're just going to hate life. So it is what it is. But turn 12, we've been stacking for quite a while. We've been getting just full hands of blues, sending ults when we can. Turn 13, we have a Raphael ult, which I believe at this point, we have used his skills a few times just to do extra damage. Like, we've stunned him, we've pierced him, we've lowered his ult resistance. That's why our skills are now like 95 points for Raphael. It just, you know, makes things go a little faster. But we need to make sure that we have enough points to do everything that we need to do, while maybe stunning him again, just in case the nuke doesn't kill. And here, we actually used Guy's orb change skill to get a whole hand of oranges, which, you know, is not great. It does get us a few ults, but it's not what you're going for on a blue stacking team, a full hand of oranges. At least they're not nerfed anymore, because I think the orange and green nerf leaves after 10 turns or something like that. So, triple ult, we have a full hand right here, and I think we just send it. I think we buff here and send everything, because we've got enough points, I believe, to do what we need to do here. So we're going to bring you in for Guy, yep, and then we're going to stack one more time, and then we don't have enough, this is why, because I don't have enough points to use Alps's buff. So there's the stun, alright, and then there's a stun strike, or the pierce resistance down, or no, ult resistance down and pierce, and then the ult buff, and then a full hand with 3 ults. So 224k on Shuna is good, 32k on Albus is crap, but then Raphael does 400k, and we kill on turn 14, which is definitely, you know, not bad. You know, it's very doable. And yes, my Raphael is 120. Yes, my Shuna is 108. Like, they have dupes. Don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying that. But, you know, you could go another 5-6 turns as long as you can keep stunning and you can just do the damage still. So let's move on to the next team. Okay. This is the last team we're going to use, and it's Janky. So we have Velzard, right? She stacks Warrior's Mind and Dragon Hakai 12% attack forever, alongside the SP gain and the blue buffs and everything. We have Guy, right? He's got the ult buff, he's got the orb changing, which is really, really nice, and he will get the stacks, but he is physical, so we're going to be a little bit nerfed on that. We have 2 4-star units here, so that's how I got that mission done originally, is Geld and Rimuru, because they are really good at orb changing. We have Octogram Guy for the stun, yet again, because like I've said, a stunner is required. And then we have Space Millum. Now I know what you're thinking. Space Millum is type disadvantage on one of the hardest stages in the game. Why the hell would you bring her? Well, she is on Dragon Hakai, so she will get the 12% stacks from Velzard. And because she has her own space buff, so that's 50% space attack right there, that's good. And because of her Drago skill, which will amplify the buffs that we put on her, including Velzard's stacks, we can actually get Millum to a very nice attack stat. And then we can try and just nuke him down with her, while being type disadvantage. Now, it works. It takes a while. So I'm not going to make you sit through all of it. So we're going to make a cut, and then I'll bring you to a few different milestones. But it does work out. It just takes a while. And you really, really have to, like, get Millum's ult when he's stunned, and then never let her see the front line again. Because this Gabiru does way too much damage against her, because she's type disadvantaged, and she's 120, and she has a 120 hero, so it's not like she's a weak unit, right? It's just that he does way too much damage on against her, so you have to get her ult and then hide her, which, then you have to bring her back in for the stacks and take her back out, and it's a big giant thing, so let's start. Okay, so we're here on turn 17. We have an Octogram Guy ult, cool, whatever. We have a Millum ult. We've been stacking for 17 turns on her, so her attack stat will look pretty good. So if we go and check her out, she currently has 240% extra attack, which is going to go up because of when we use Drago. So here's the ult buff, the space buff, Drago, and Guy's giving himself crit, which actually nerfs his damage, but it's okay, he's not the primary nuker. But then Millum now has 288% attack. So about a 40% jump right there. And then the space attack instead of 50 is now 60%. So, and then she has her own personal buff of 24% attack. So, she can do damage here. She does 21k on that, 23k there. The Guy ult does 15k, whatever. But then Millum does not as much as I wanted. 179k is definitely not what I was shooting for in 17 turns. So he's not even at half HP yet, and you can see she's got like a third of her HP left, because she only took 2 attacks, of which were counters, on turns where I didn't stun. So that just goes to show, like, you need to get the ult during a stun turn, so we just can't hit her, ever, and then send her away. So 179k after 18 turns with 280% attack, we need to go a bit further. And by a bit further, I mean 10 more turns. I mean 10 more turns. Turn 27, we have a Guy ult, we have a Millum ult, we've used their skills a few times, well, at least Guy's skill a few times. But Guy, he is physical, but he has also been getting the stacks from Velzard, so his attack stat, does look decent. And now here's Drago, here's the ult buff, the space buff, so now we're up to 432% attack. And, quite a bit higher, 60% space attack, her own Drago buff, and then Guy's ult buff, and now Millum does 243k, which leaves him with just a sliver of HP, and then Guy does 63k, which isn't very impressive, but, he does have the natural crit resistance, and Guy is giving himself crit, so he's auto-nerfing himself right here. But, I mean, there we go. We were able to clear Inferno 3 using a type disadvantage nuker. It just took a long time. And so if your Millum isn't 120, which I don't expect most of them will be, but you have, this team setup, because Guy is a unit you should have summoned for. Velzard is a unit you should have summoned for during the half Annie, 1.5 Annie. So they will be a little bit more common than other protectors in the game. So if you have this team, you can do it. And if your Millum isn't as strong, then you go 30 turns. You go 32 turns, I don't know. Whatever you need to do in order to nuke his ass down. But this is proof of concept that if you try hard enough, things will die. So that's the 3 teams. We've got the main meta team. We've got you know, the normal typical Shuna stun team, and then we've got this Jank team. But all three of them work. You do have substitutions you can use, but the requirements are a stacking protector and a stunner. And then whatever else you do is really up to your box. But those are the two big requirements, stacking protector and a stun unit. So let me know if this video helped you guys out. But yeah, that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.